Okay, so let's get started talking about how we're going to accomplish all this great and wonderful learning. On the screen, you see a page out of the syllabus, specifically it's the last page, and it shows you how the course is organized. So let me walk you through the materials and the assignments and the plan for getting through the course. You can see I've divided it into 4 modules. You have to you could complete the modules early. I don't encourage that, but you see that there are due dates assigned with each module and the assignments to walk you progressively through the material. The exams are offered only during specific windows, so you're going to be tied to those windows for the exams. In terms of the material, this is the textbook, Dess, Lumpkin, and Eisner. Again, it's more information in the syllabus. I expect you to read this textbook to give you an undergraduate / introductory graduate level of understanding. This is a fabulous textbook, one of the best sellers. I intentionally am a couple of editions off the current edition because frankly that makes it a lot cheaper. And the concepts in the course really don't change much. They update the textbooks with new examples, and it's not worth asking to pay an extra $100 for it. So reading the textbooks is where you're going to start. You can see that there are chapters associated with each of the modules. In D2L, you're going to see that there are also videos associated with these modules. I try not to regurgitate the textbook to you through the videos. The textbook, I'll be honest with you, is used both at the undergraduate and the graduate level. It's the other things we do in the class, specifically to include the discussions, the assignments, and the videos that elevate this from an undergraduate level to a graduate level. So don't think that if you've watched the videos, you've got what's in the textbook or vice versa, because the videos will be conducted. There will be some overlap, but I consciously try to elevate the discussion in the videos to give you that greater level of understanding for the course. The next thing that is not mandatory, but I do encourage you, is you'll see some material from me, emails and the like, with subscription opportunities to the Wall Street Journal. Right now, the deal they're offering is $15 for 15 weeks, which is about a 75% discount off of the normal price for the Wall Street Journal. You can get it delivered electronically and in paper form to your home. So a lot of flexibility there. Let me tell you why subscribing to the Wall Street Journal may help you. You're going to have to do some research to answer the STs and the DQs. And having access to the archives of the Wall Street Journal is going to make that process a lot easier. I draw information from the Wall Street Journal all the time in the class. I'll talk about exams a little bit more later, but specifically, you're almost always seeing articles from the Wall Street Journal on the quote-unquote unexpected exam question. So it's a great bargain to pay that money for the Wall Street Journal, but it is not mandatory. If your budget doesn't allow for 15 bucks, it's okay. There's no need to worry about that. You'll also see in D2L there's some additional readings, primarily out of the Harvard Business Review, but sometimes out of some other journals. And again, that's to elevate our discussion from an undergraduate level up to a graduate level. And I'll be giving you a sense of what I'm looking for from you in each of the modules as we dive into that. So you can see the center block is telling you what the readings are. And then in the right block are the assignments. And you can see that all the assignments are due by a given date, although you're going to see for the discussion questions, there's a little bit of interaction required, so you can't go there just before the due date or you're not going to get all the interaction in that I'm looking for you to get in. So the 2 types of assignments you see there are the STs, some are in writing, some are video. They're talked about in detail on in D2L, where I explain the assignments in a separate file. But with the STs, the concept is I'm looking for you to apply what we're talking about in the textbook and the videos to a real-world example and do something really clever with it. You'll see that there are very tight word limits and time limits for the videos. That's very conscious choice by me. One is I'm trying to make sure that you don't turn them into a research project and you way over invest time-wise. But secondly, I'm trying to force you to be very economical in your wording. In other words, say a lot with very few words. That's a rare skill, and it's worthy of the effort to develop. The next type of assignment are discussion questions. You're going to see as the semester goes on, I'll roll out discussion questions. Again, these are typically pulled right out of the current events, and you're going to have to make several postings in response to those discussion questions. I hope that we get a lot of debate going on. I try to pick questions very purposely that are controversial or that you can see both sides of the question so that you can people can disagree with one another and add in lots of topics. We'll see how I do. So what you can expect is there's going to be Module 1, Module 2, then the first exam, Module 3, Module 4, and then the second exam. Let's talk about the exams. The exams are essay exams. I release to you the questions in advance, and then you have a chance to prepare for them. And to be honest with you, if you don't spend a lot of hours preparing for them, your answer isn't going to be of the quality that I expect. And then you go into a proctored environment where you're going to take the exam, and you're going to see you're going to be given a list of questions. There's usually 8 or 9 questions in my question list the exams that could be on. My exams are, there's 4 questions, you get to pick 3, and then there's a 5th question that you didn't have in advance, but trust me, if you've prepared for all the ones that I've given you in advance, you've also prepared for this unknown question, and it's almost always a recent Wall Street Journal article where you're having to apply a concept to a very real world situation. Those exams have to be conducted in a proctored environment. They can be proctored. You can see on there, it's already published, the opportunities where you can come to a classroom, the Dillard College or computer lab, I should say. I'll be there to proctor it. There's also, you can go to another testing center, and I'll release what needs to be released to that testing center for you to take the test there. Or there's an online proctoring option. It's very new, but it works very effectively. I've used it in the past. For all these proctoring services, whether it is a testing center or the online proctoring service, there's probably going to be a fee, or I can guarantee there's going to be a fee associated with that. So the free way is to come to MSU and take the exam. One test that is very difficult to do other than here face-to-face is the MFT, and you can see that's coming up in late April. Again, there's more information on that in the syllabus. That is a very difficult test to do, not in here at MSU, because it has particular computer requirements. So look at that date now and be ready to come in to MSU on that date to make it happen. If you can't make that happen, let's start talking now so that we can work those things out. So that's a basic introduction. 4 modules. I expect that you'll complete them in order. 2 modules, exam, 2 more modules, MFT towards the end of that 4th module, and then another exam period. So the final thing that I'm yet to talk about is the BSG simulation, and I'll do that in the next video.